Hi, everyone. This is Peter Giannetti of Homepage News, and welcome to Rapid Fire with Circana. I am joined again by Joe Derochowski, Vice President and Home Industry Advisor for market analytics company Circana. In this episode of Rapid Fire, Joe will provide some early insights on how the home product business is doing to start 2025, and also what to look for at the upcoming Inspired Home Show, March 2nd through 4th in Chicago. So if you're ready, Joe, let's get started. Question one. Before talking about 2025, let's talk about how 2024 ended for home and housewares and what lessons were learned.
Well, Peter, 2024, we're starting to see the growth come back to the industry. Overall, home grew 1% in dollars and units. And the primary drivers are what's kind of interesting because they should continue throughout this year as well. And long growth should last throughout the decade. But the drivers this past year in 2024, we ate more meals at home because, again, as a reminder, it's 4 to 5 times cheaper to eat at home. Two, we entertained more at home. So a lot of the categories regarding entertaining saw a lot of growth. Three, we have clearly hit the replacement phase since Memorial Day. I have no doubt in my mind that those high frequency use items are that we bought in 2020 and 21. All of those are starting to hit that replacement phase. And the fourth thing, we look for cheaper, more home improvement projects. So a lot of do-it-yourself projects, and that helps some areas like in the bath part of the house and some of the outdoor areas. And the last thing is weather really had an impact impacting a lot of areas in home comfort, just with the cold, warmer parts of the country that are typically becoming a little bit more colder at sometimes, and vice versa during the summertime period.
Well, it's interesting. We often look at the growth potential through the lens of kitchen and dining, but we're seeing it really across the board into a wider scope of what we follow in the home and housewares business. So that's all real encouraging. Question two, Joe. We're a month into 2025. How is the home product business doing, and what should attendees be looking for when they visit the upcoming Inspired Home Show in Chicago?
Well, right now, through the first 5 weeks, small appliances and housewares are up 6% in dollars and 4% in units. And in fact, small appliances across all general merchandise, there's only 5 industries that are growing. Small appliances leading, it's number one, and really being driven by home comfort and kitchen electrics. Housewares is also growing. It's number 3 of the industries that are growing. So right now, home is a very hot place. And as I mentioned, it should continue throughout the decade. So what I'd be looking for at the home show are some of those things that are related to still eating more meals at home, to those things about making entertaining moments a little bit special. 3, as people start to replace some items, the question is are they going to be going up and looking for new improvements and innovation? And I think that'll be one of the options for us to be thinking about. So those high frequency things, think of coffee espresso makers, or they're smoothie more oriented items, these breakfast oriented dishes, air fryers, things that are microwaves, things that are very high frequently used. Those are the categories that are right for replacement and innovation upgrades at that time. The final one that I'd be thinking about is return to office is the next big variable that can alter how we spend our time. And when that happens, it's going to dial up that convenience lever across all meal occasions and across all behaviors throughout the home. So we want to be thinking about what new ways that we can make the current foods or the current moments, how can we make them more convenient? And that's one of the areas we want to be really looking for at that time.
Are you seeing a movement toward a higher frequency return to office, more companies starting to sort of crack down on that going forward right now?
You're seeing a little bit of it. It's still relatively flat, but up slightly. But I anticipate over the next few years, at some point, this is going to get more formalized. And people will still always probably be at a little bit of a hybrid life, but it's going to be much more formal. Like these are the specific days, these are the specific times, and people are going to be more attuned to being forced to follow those specifics. And when that does, it's going to change how they manage their time.
Yeah, but it also is going to create new opportunities for companies and retailers that know how to adapt to those opportunities. Question
Absolutely.
three, Joe. You'll be speaking at the Inspired Home Show on March 2nd. We look forward to hearing that. Can you give us a preview of what we'll hear and learn during your presentation?
Well, I think one of the things the industry needs right now is innovation across the board, products, marketing, going to market. So we wanted to take kind of a outside in approach to thinking of new ways, because sometimes that uncovers a different way to think about things. So the title of my talk is Thinking Outside the Box, Growth Opportunities for the Housewares Industry. And what I'm going to be doing is speaking to some of my colleagues who are industry advisors for other industries. And what lessons can we learn? So, things like technology, toys, apparel, and beauty. What are some things that we can learn that are maybe driving the growth in their industries that we can apply to ours? So, like apparel, is return to office. What's that going to impact be to the types of clothing? And does that change some of the garment care that we might need? Tech, what are the lessons that they're having? They're hitting some of the replacements, like with televisions and computers. What lessons can we learn? And are people moving to value? Are they moving up? What insights can we gather from there? Food, what's going on in the restaurant industry, as well as what's eating trends in home? Toys, what's driving the growth there? Like part of it is because of growth with maybe some of the baby boom bump that happened in 2021, or is it really adults that are driving some of the growth, or is it some combination of both? Books, what are the hottest selling books and why? Are those related to changing how we eat? And beauty is the one industry, prestige beauty specifically, that has been growing both dollars and units over the last 4 years, the only industry. And so, what lessons can we learn from that industry, and how do we apply them to our industry? So, that's a little bit of what we'll be talking about.
Well, that sounds interesting. Yes, we often probably are guilty of looking at the home and housewares business kind of through the tunnel of just what's going on in home and housewares when we can learn and apply and adapt with all these other industries that are in the same spending ecosystem. Not only are you competing for sort of share of mind and dollar with those businesses, but there's a way to sort of be somewhat collaborative in terms of fitting in with those businesses to optimize the opportunity in home and housewares. So we look forward to hearing that, Joe. I want to thank you again. Thanks to Circana's Joe Derochowski for your data-backed insights on key retail sales trends and developments in home and housewares. For Homepage News, I'm Peter Giannetti. We will see you next time on Rapid Fire with Circana, and we'll see you at the Inspired Home Show in Chicago. Thanks, everyone. See you soon.